72 hours ago, nobody in this city believed they would lie to a friend over a bottle of water. But now you are standing in a dark convenience store, holding the last one. Across the aisle is Maya, someone you have known since middle school. Her phone is dead. Yours is useless. Outside, a crowd is pressing against the locked doors. Maya asks whether you saw any water. You look at the bottle in your hand, hidden by the shelf, and hesitate. At 8:17 on Monday morning, the internet disappears. You are halfway through a shift at a neighborhood cafe. The music stops first, then the card terminals freeze. Customers lift their phones and laugh as if everyone has been included in the same harmless joke. You do not laugh. Your evening train ticket, the address of your mother's birthday dinner, and the only copy of her new phone number are all inside your phone. The cafe owner tapes a handwritten cash-only sign to the door. It feels temporary, almost nostalgic. But the nearest ATM is offline, the banking apps will not load, and most people carry less cash than the price of lunch. One customer offers a watch for 2 coffees. Another writes an IOU on a napkin. Within an hour, the city learns its first lesson. Money can still exist, while access to money disappears. At the train station, every departure board is blank. Staff members repeat the same sentence. Trains are moving, but reservations cannot be verified. Hundreds of people hold glowing phones above their heads, searching for a signal that is not there. Your train leaves with half its seats empty while you stand behind a gate that cannot read your ticket. You tell yourself there will be another one. By noon, explanations multiply faster than facts. A construction accident, a cyber attack, a solar storm, a government test. Each rumor arrives through a friend of a friend who supposedly knows someone important. A battery radio in a hardware store says officials are investigating a regional communications failure. That careful sentence is less exciting than the rumors, so almost nobody repeats it. The city begins rebuilding the internet out of paper. Bus stops become message boards. Restaurants post handwritten menus. The library prints maps and lists of emergency numbers. For a few hours it works. Then someone changes the time on a hospital shuttle notice. Someone else moves a fuel delivery sign to a different street. Information still travels. Trust does not travel with it. That evening, a local radio host named Sam opens the phone lines using an old studio connection that still works. People call in with pharmacy hours, road closures, and names of relatives they cannot reach. Sam repeats every message twice and labels every unconfirmed claim. His voice becomes the closest thing the city has to a homepage. You write down the studio address and start walking. At your apartment building, a folded note waits beneath the door. It says your mother is safe at St. Anne's and asks you to come quickly. The handwriting is not hers, but you tell yourself somebody wrote it for her. St. Anne's is across the city. The radio studio is 6 blocks away. You put the note in your pocket and choose the hospital. Night changes the outage. During the day, disconnected screens were annoying. After dark, they become frightening. Rideshare cars vanish. Streetlights work, but intersections fill with drivers following outdated directions. People stand outside closed stores, comparing rumors. Every few minutes, someone raises a phone and announces that service is back. Everyone checks. It never is. St. Anne's is not dark, and it is not collapsing. Backup systems and trained staff keep essential work moving. But the lobby is crowded with people who came because they could not call. Printed schedules replace screens. Runners carry messages between departments. You search every floor and find no trace of your mother. At the front desk, a nurse studies your note and says nobody from the hospital wrote it. By Tuesday morning, the city's unofficial currency is not cash. It is useful certainty. A charged radio earns a place near the front of a line. A verified address is traded for batteries. A mechanic with a printed street map becomes more valuable than someone with a luxury car. You have neither supplies nor answers, but you know the radio studio is still broadcasting. Sam lets you into the studio after you repeat his only rule. A true message delivered late is better than a false message delivered instantly. Volunteers sort handwritten reports into 3 piles: confirmed, likely, and rumor. The room is calm because everyone admits what they do not know. Then a hospital runner arrives with a request. St. Anne's needs a message relayed to a medical supply depot before its evening dispatch. At the same moment, a volunteer recognized your mother's name. Someone heard she may be staying at a community center near the old train yard. The supply depot is east. The community center is west. If you take the hospital message, you lose your best chance to find her before dark. If you search for her, the message may never reach the depot. Nobody orders you to choose. That makes the choice harder. You go east. The city looks different when every sign matters. You carry one sealed envelope and stop at 3 information points to confirm the route. Twice, strangers give you confident directions that are wrong. Once, a child corrects them using a paper map from school. At the depot, a manager reads the message, checks a printed authorization list, and adds St. Anne's to the next delivery. On the walk back, you notice the city learning. Neighbors post updates with times and signatures. Stores separate confirmed notices from rumors. Bicycle couriers run fixed routes between clinics, shelters, and radio stations. Nothing is efficient. Everything is slower, but slower information with a visible source begins to beat fast information with none. Maya is waiting at the studio. She admits she wrote the note beneath your door. She had heard your mother might be at St. Anne's and was afraid you would leave the city without checking. She wanted to help, then panicked when the rumor became a written sentence. The note was not malicious. It was worse in a more ordinary way. It was uncertainty disguised as kindness. On Wednesday night, you and Maya enter the convenience store looking for supplies for the radio volunteers. The shelves are nearly empty. When the crowd pushes against the doors, you find the final bottle of water. Maya asks whether you saw any. This is the moment from the beginning. You could hide it. Instead, you place it on the counter, open the door, and tell the crowd one bottle will not solve anyone's problem. The crowd does not become a mob. A woman from the apartment across the street brings a case of water she had saved. Someone else brings cups. The store owner turns the counter into a distribution table. One honest sentence creates a small network. Slow, fragile, and entirely human. You realize the city has spent 2 days trying to replace technology when what it really needed was a way to verify one another. Exactly 72 hours after the outage began, phones wake at once. Messages, alerts, missed calls, and explanations flood every screen. Your mother's name appears 23 times. She has been safe with neighbors near the train yard. Her first message is not angry. It asks why you trusted an unsigned note more than the people who live next door. The internet comes back, but the paperboards remain for another week. The radio station keeps its volunteer list. St. Anne's schedules another continuity drill. You finally reach your mother with a late birthday cake and a story you cannot summarize. The outage did not reveal that technology was bad. It revealed how much invisible trust technology had been carrying. The city is online again. But now it knows who it becomes when the signal disappears.